The Unity. Before there was the Brotherhood, before the NCR rose to power, there was the Unity, and it nearly ended humanity as we know it. The Unity was a militaristic cult led by the Master, a horrifically mutated creature who was once a man named Richard Gray. In 2102, Gray was exposed to the forced evolutionary virus at Mariposa Military Base, transforming him into a grotesque biomass with psychic abilities and a twisted vision for humanity's future. His solution to mankind's endless conflicts was simple: eliminate difference entirely by converting every worthy human into a super mutant. The Unity's forces were terrifying. Super mutants formed the backbone, green-skinned giants immune to radiation and strong enough to wield miniguns like pistols. Elite Nightkin served as commanders and assassins, using stealth boys to become invisible before striking. The Children of the Cathedral, a doomsday cult, acted as the Unity's public face, running hospitals and churches while secretly selecting humans for conversion. Their power was immense. The Unity controlled the Cathedral and the Boneyard, formerly Los Angeles, and Mariposa Military Base, and they possessed a nuclear weapon as a failsafe. But the Master's grand plan had a fatal flaw. FEV renders all super mutants sterile. His perfect society would eventually lead to extinction. In 2162, the Vault Dweller from Vault 13 exploited this weakness. After convincing the Master that his vision was doomed, the Dweller destroyed both the Cathedral and Mariposa Base. The Unity collapsed, scattering super mutants across the Wasteland, but the Master's legacy would haunt the West Coast for generations. The Enclave. They claim to be the legitimate continuation of the United States government. In reality, they're a fascist paramilitary organization with genocidal ambitions and the technology to make those ambitions reality. The Enclave's origins trace back to a pre-war shadow government, a secretive coalition of politicians, military brass, and corporate executives who knew nuclear war was coming and planned accordingly. When the bombs fell, these elites retreated to fortified bunkers like the Poseidon oil rig in the Pacific and Raven Rock on the East Coast. They then consolidated power by eliminating any non-Enclave government officials who made it to their shelters. But the Enclave's reach extended far beyond their own bunkers. They secretly controlled vault-tec Corporation, using the company's vaults as massive social experiments. The original plan was to use this data for space colonization, but when that proved unfeasible, they shifted to a darker purpose: extermination. The Enclave considers themselves the last pure humans on Earth. Everyone else, Vault Dwellers, Wastelanders, ghouls, mutants, are genetic deviants who must be eliminated. Under President Dick Richardson, they developed FEV Curling 13, a modified virus capable of killing 99.5% of all life exposed to radiation. They came within hours of releasing it into the atmosphere. What makes the Enclave truly dangerous is their technological superiority. Advanced power armor, vertibirds, plasma weapons, and military training that surpasses every other faction. In Fallout 2, the Chosen One destroyed their oil rig headquarters. In Fallout 3, the Lone Wanderer and Brotherhood of Steel crushed their East Coast operations at Project Purity. Yet isolated Enclave remnants continue to survive across the former United States, waiting for another chance. Brotherhood of Steel, power armor, energy weapons, a fanatical dedication to hoarding technology. The Brotherhood of Steel is one of the most recognizable factions in the Wasteland, and depending on who you ask, they're either humanity's last hope or its most dangerous gatekeepers. The Brotherhood was born from betrayal. In 2077, Captain Roger Maxon's unit was stationed at Mariposa Military Base when they discovered the US government was conducting horrific FEV experiments on American soldiers. Maxon executed the lead scientist, declared his unit's secession from the United States, and 3 days later, the Great War began. The world ended, but Maxon's rebellion survived. At its core, the Brotherhood believes that advanced technology is too dangerous for ordinary people. They've dedicated themselves to collecting, preserving, and controlling pre-war weapons and knowledge, by force if necessary. Their structure is rigidly military. High elders command from the top, chapter elders run regional operations, and paladins and knights serve as their armored fist. Their achievements speak for themselves. The Brotherhood played a crucial role in defeating the Master's super mutant army in 2016-1. They wiped out the deadly Vipers gang in New California within a month. On the East Coast, Elder Lion's chapter reactivated Liberty Prime, a massive pre-war robot, to crush the Enclave at Project Purity. Under Arthur Maxson, they arrived in the Commonwealth aboard the Prydwen airship to destroy the Institute. The Brotherhood maintains major strongholds at Lost Hills in California, the Citadel in Washington, D.C., and Boston Airport. Throughout the games, they've evolved from secretive isolationists in Fallout 1 to a dominant military power in Fallout 4. But their technology-hoarding philosophy has made them enemies across the Wasteland. And in the Fallout TV series, they stormed Griffith Observatory to seize cold fusion technology, effectively destroying the last organized remnants of the NCR, New California Republic. While other factions fight over scraps, the NCR tried to rebuild civilization itself. They're the closest thing the post-war world has seen to a functioning democracy, and for decades it actually worked. Founded in 2189 by Aradesh in the town of Shady Sands, the New California Republic modeled itself after the pre-war United States. A federal republic with an elected president and senate, the NCR banned discrimination, granted legal protections to ghouls and mutants in 2025, and outlawed slavery. Under legendary President Tandy, who served over 10 terms from 2196 to 2248, the NCR transformed from a single settlement into a proper nation. At its peak, the NCR was the largest known post-war country, spanning 5 states across Southern California with territories reaching into Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, and northern Mexico. Over 700,000 citizens provided massive manpower for one of the Wasteland's biggest armies. The regular NCR army handled conventional warfare while the elite Rangers, legendary warriors with the best training and equipment, served as special forces. Their economy was equally impressive. Cattle ranches, farming operations, and powerful trading companies like the Gunrunners gave the NCR an economic foundation other factions could only dream of. They even salvaged vertibirds from their war with the Enclave. But expansion bred problems. Overreach, corruption, and aggressive policies under President Aaron Kimball stretched their resources thin. In Fallout New Vegas, the NCR is locked in a desperate struggle with Caesar's Legion for control of Hoover Dam. Then came catastrophe. In 2083, the NCR's capital of Shady Sands was destroyed by a nuclear bomb. By 2096, their population had shrunk dramatically, and the Brotherhood's attack on Griffith Observatory wiped out their last organized presence. The dream of a new America now exists only in scattered survivors. Caesar's Legion. They crucify their enemies. They enslave entire populations. They've conquered 87 tribes through blood and terror. Caesar's Legion is arguably the most brutal faction in the Fallout universe, and they're devastatingly effective. The Legion was founded in 2027 by Edward Sallow, a former follower of the Apocalypse scholar who renamed himself Caesar after discovering books about ancient Rome. Along with Joshua Graham, a Mormon missionary, Caesar began conquering tribal groups east of the Colorado River. His method was simple: absorb the useful, enslave the rest, and destroy anyone who resists. The Legion operates as a totalitarian dictatorship modeled after the Roman Empire, complete with Latin terminology, military tactics, and ruthless discipline. Caesar rules as absolute dictator, worshipped by his followers as the son of Mars. His brutal military commander, Legate Lanius, serves as his right hand and most feared enforcer. Their military power comes from sheer numbers and perfect obedience. Legionaries are trained from childhood to follow orders without question, fighting in Roman-style formations with machetes, throwing spears, and whatever firearms they can capture. Women are banned from combat and treated as property for breeding. Conquered peoples become either subjects or slaves. The Legion's psychological warfare is equally terrifying. They crucify prisoners along major roads, use children as soldiers, and employ systematic torture to break their enemies' will. In Fallout New Vegas, they're seeking revenge after the NCR crushed them at the First Battle of Hoover Dam in 2027, where their elite forces were lured into a trap at Boulder City. Caesar was so furious that he had Joshua Graham burned alive and thrown into the Grand Canyon. Graham survived to become the legendary Burned Man. But the Legion has a critical weakness: Caesar himself. Without his vision holding them together, characters like Mr. House predict the Legion will collapse within a year from internal fighting. The Legion's future is entirely dependent on one man's mortality. Mr. House in New Vegas. While the world burned, one man was ready. Robert Edwin House didn't just survive the apocalypse, he planned for it, profited from it, and built an empire in the ashes. House was a pre-war tech billionaire who founded Robco Industries and saw the Great War coming years in advance. When the bombs fell on October 23, 2077, his defense systems shot down 59 nuclear warheads and destroyed 9 others with laser cannons, saving Las Vegas from complete destruction. But the effort cost him. House placed himself in a life support pod connected to a supercomputer, where he remained in a coma until 2138. When House finally awoke, he began rebuilding. From his sealed chamber in the Lucky 38 casino, he controls New Vegas through his army of Securitron robots, rolling machines armed with Gatling lasers and missile launchers that serve as enforcers, peacekeepers, and ambassadors. House reorganized the Strip's tribes into 3 families: the Chairman, the Omertas, and the White Glove Society, who run the casinos under his direction. House's vision is unique among faction leaders. He doesn't want to restore democracy like the NCR or forge an empire through conquest like Caesar. He believes democracy is too slow and messy for the Wasteland. Instead, he wants autocratic control to restore New Vegas to its pre-war glory, then use that foundation to launch humanity to the stars within a century. In Fallout New Vegas, House has signed treaties with the NCR to keep them at bay while maintaining his independence. His fate depends entirely on the player's choices. He can either build his unforgiving but prosperous civilization or die along with his dreams. The Institute. To most people in the Commonwealth, the Institute is just a rumor, a boogeyman that snatches people in the night and replaces them with perfect copies. The truth is far more terrifying. Beneath the ruins of the Commonwealth Institute of Technology lies a fully operational underground city. Formed in 2011 by descendants of CIT survivors, the Institute is a highly advanced scientific society that believes only they are qualified to guide humanity's future. Their pristine white corridors and cutting-edge laboratories stand in stark contrast to the ruined world above. The Institute is organized into specialized divisions. Advanced Systems handles energy and robotics. Bioscience works on food production and genetic manipulation, and the Synth Retention Bureau hunts down escaped synthetic humans. Leadership rests with a Directorate Council headed by an appointed director, who in Fallout 4 is revealed to be Sean, the sole survivor's abducted son. Their military power comes from synths. Synthetic humans ranging from obvious machines to perfect human replicas that even believe they're real. Elite coursers serve as their special operatives, using advanced stealth technology and teleportation to track down targets anywhere in the Commonwealth. They even use synthetic crows called Watchers for surveillance. The Institute isn't afraid to use this power. In the 2030s, they massacred the Commonwealth Provisional Government, destroying the region's best chance at post-war stability. They've replaced countless people with synth duplicates for reasons known only to themselves. In Fallout 4, Players can either destroy the Institute completely or take control as its new director, deciding whether their twisted vision of progress will continue. The Gunners. Most mercenary groups in the Wasteland are just raiders with better gear. The Gunners are something far more dangerous. A professional military organization that will take any contract as long as the price is right. Operating primarily in the Commonwealth, the Gunners maintain strict military discipline, standardized equipment, and training that rivals the Brotherhood of Steel. Members wear military-grade armor and carry forehead tattoos to show loyalty. They operate from Gunners Plaza and numerous strongholds throughout the region, deploying not just infantry but robots like assaultrons and sentry bots. The Gunners have a no-prisoners approach to business. They'll wipe out entire settlements if they think the targets are too weak to fight back. Their most notorious action was the Quincy Massacre, where they destroyed the settlement and caused the collapse of the Commonwealth Minutemen, with only about 20 survivors escaping the slaughter. But the Gunners have a critical weakness. While they're deadly at the tactical level, they completely lack strategic coordination. Individual units operate independently, competing with each other rather than working together. This prevents them from taking over the Commonwealth despite their superior training and equipment. They regularly clash with the Brotherhood of Steel over territory, sometimes winning individual battles, but never the war. The Wasteland's future. Every major faction in Fallout believes it alone holds the key to saving humanity. Each one looks at the ruined world and reaches a different conclusion about what must be done. The Unity believed forced evolution was the only path forward, even if it erased what made people human. The Enclave chose extermination, deciding that only a pure few deserved to inherit the Earth. The Brotherhood of Steel hoarded technology, fearing that knowledge itself was too dangerous for the wrong hands. The New California Republic tried something rare in the Wasteland: laws, elections, and democracy. But good intentions collapsed under corruption and overexpansion. Caesar rejected all of that, building an empire through fear, violence, and absolute control. Mr. House trusted no one but himself, betting humanity's future on cold logic, machines, and permanent autocracy. Beneath it all, the Institute hid underground, manipulating the surface, while creating synthetic life and quietly playing God. Some of these factions have already fallen. Others still clash over territory, ideology, and survival. And long after they are gone, new groups will rise from the ashes with their own answers and their own ambitions. In the Wasteland, no one stays in power forever. But the fight to control humanity's future never truly ends. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more Fallout content.